Hey everyone, it's Ryan here. So it's been a good month or so since I last uploaded anything to YouTube. The reason for that is mainly I would do gameplay streams of stuff, but Mixer is no longer a thing, and I used to stream through Mixer, and anytime I tried to make Twitch work, it just doesn't work. So unfortunately, there won't be any more gaming videos because I don't want to spend money on a capture card or anything. Um, so basically, I'm just gonna do videos every now and then of stuff. I might just put clips from games of funny stuff that happens. But this video is a bit different. It's the first time I've done this. I'm because the Premier League is now back for this season. Last season, obviously, we sort of had COVID happened halfway through, so they sort of delayed matches for about a month or two, and then they literally rushed them all out. So it's been I think it's been a 5 week break between the end of the season and the start of the new one. But I wanted to just do a sort of predictions for how I think the Premier League's going to go this season. I know nothing new, everyone else has been doing it for a while, but I felt like it would just be a fun idea to do one myself. So I'm going to go through each of the positions and maybe just a quick reason why I think they're going to finish there. But yeah, so I'm going to get on with it. So 20th place, I've got Aston Villa. I'll be honest, they got lucky last season. They escaped through goal difference, and the only reason they did was because basically, I think it was the first game back after the break was Sheffield United versus Aston Villa. There's an instant where the ball clearly went over the line, where you can see it on all the replays. I don't know why they didn't do anything about it. Where the goalkeeper literally carried it around the post into the goal and then pushed it back out. And it was the 1 in 9,000 chance or some bollocks like that VAR just happened to have not worked. And that was literally the only reason they stayed up. I think Bournemouth or Watford would have stayed up if it actually stayed as it was, because they literally lucked out by, I think, just one goal, which was really annoying. And I don't think they've done any big signing. I think they've tried to do big signings this season, but no one wants to go to the team. So I think they're definitely finishing bottom of the table. Their team is not strong enough, and like I said, they haven't really done any improvements to it. I think they tried to get Callum Wilson. He went to Newcastle instead. They tried to get Tarkowski from Burnley. He's not going anywhere. Obviously, Grealish is staying there, but I don't think Grealish is going to do well to keep him up. So yeah, I think Aston Villa are going to be bottom of the table. 19th place, I've got Fulham. I know they've done quite a few signings, but I have a feeling it's going to be a bit similar to the last time they were up, where they're just not going to adapt to the Premier League that well. And with how some of the teams are nowadays, I don't think they'll be up to it. It'll be interesting to see though, but like I said, I think they're going to finish 19th. I haven't done too much research into their team. I think, if I remember correctly, they won the league, I think, or they came second. I really can't remember. It was either them or West Brom that won. 18th, I've got West Ham. I think they're I don't know. I just think they're not going to do as well this season. I think West Brom and Leeds are probably going to be the main reason they get relegated, because I think that both those teams are going to stay up. I don't think either of them are going to do as good as Sheffield United and Wolves did when they came back to the Premier League, but I think they're just going to stay up enough. So I think West Ham are just going to be the unfortunate ones that go down. 17th, I've got West Brom. Maybe it comes down to the last game that they survive. I think there's going to be a good handful of wins for them. Maybe towards the end of the season they have a bit of a surge that they manage to just survive. Again, I don't know. I think maybe they'll survive by a point or two. 16th, I've got Crystal Palace. I think the only benefit they've got so far is they've got Batshuayi back on loan, so maybe they won't play Benteke, because Benteke's scoring records for them is abysmal. Zaha, again, it's one of those things that annoys me with Zaha. It's every transfer window, there's this hint he might leave. And he's supposed to be this world-class player, but he barely, I'll be honest, he barely does anything for Crystal Palace. I think he scores a good handful, but other than that, it's like he draws fouls and stuff, but he's not worth. I don't think he's worth the 50 or 60 million price tag they put on him. Like if you're that good, then maybe you should be finishing in the top half of the table, not in the bottom half. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna have a great season. Like I don't think bad enough that they're gonna get relegated, but I just don't think it's gonna be good. 15th, I've got Leeds. I think they went through on the playoffs, if I remember correctly. I know Brentford were close. I can't remember who they played in the final. Might have been Fulham. I think Leeds. See, it's one of those things where like I just completely forgot how the championship. Like with the championship, I didn't pay too much. I don't tend to pay too much attention to it. Like the only thing that piqued my interest was Brentford almost went up, and it would have been nice because I don't think Brentford have ever been in the Premier League or like even the top division, so that would have been nice to see. Yeah, I've got 15th. I think they're going to do quite well for themselves, like maybe a good first half of the season, and I think with poor performances from the other teams, that's probably why they get 15th. 14th, I've got Brighton. Feels like a bit of a normal place with Brighton, I think. If I remember correctly, one of their defenders has gone to Celtic. I don't know who else they have as defenders. Yeah, I think 14th would just be probably where they get. I'd say that's the worst place Brighton will get with 14th. 13th, I've got Newcastle. I was thinking of putting them higher, but looking at the other teams, I don't think they'll get that high up. I know they've got Fraser, Wilson. I think they've signed like 2 other players, but I can't remember who. Obviously, they've got this whole Saudi takeover potentially, which I doubt is going to happen. I think if they did, then they'll try and be like the next Man City, but whether that works or not, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go with 13th for them. I'm hoping Callum Wilson does well for them like he did at Bournemouth. Same with Ryan Fraser. Those two work really well together. I think Bournemouth's form just started slipping through the season, unfortunately, but I'm hoping that them being a different team might resurge their chemistry together. 12th, I've got Southampton. It was I was amazed with how well they recovered after their 9-0 loss to Leicester last season. Danny Ings as well being I think it was second highest goal scorer, which that came out of nowhere. I'm hoping Ings' form continues. He's proved to be a really good player. Obviously, he was at Liverpool for a while, didn't do too good there, but it's nice to see that after a few injuries and stuff, he's actually had a really good season, so maybe he'll do more of that. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to go with 12th for them, somewhere around the mid-table. 11th, I've got Burnley. Again, it's normally just, they're a good mid-table team. I don't think they'll get near Europa League, especially with the other teams above them. But I think 11th will be a very solid performance for them. 10th, I've got Sheffield United. They did unfortunately start to lose form towards the end of the season. They were at one point, I think in Europa League position. I think they were 5th or 6th. But then United just sort of came back and went all the way up to 3rd. Obviously Leicester dropped to 5th. But yeah, I think now that they don't have Dean Henderson, they've got Ramsdale, but I don't think he's as good as Henderson. So I think that's why I've gone with it. They're going for 10th. I think I was again with how they did last season. It was kind of unfortunate. I think they finished 7th. I think they finished 7th or 8th, or maybe even 9th. It was one of those annoying things because Tottenham basically they got the last Europa League spot, and I was kind of hoping that Sheffield United would have got it. I think Wolves finished 7th in the end, which is kind of standard for them. 9th, I've got Everton. I think last season they didn't do too well. I think with the new signings they've got, maybe there's potential, especially with James Rodriguez or James Rodriguez, however you want to say it. It's amazing to think he's gone from Real Madrid to Everton, but then again, I think Luca Dino went from Barcelona to Everton. I think with Rodriguez there, maybe him and Richarlison are going to do really well together. They'll probably be the main attacking force. I don't think Moise Kean will do I don't think he'll actually play much, to be honest with you. And if he does, I don't think he's going to do too much. Calvert-Lewin possibly will be the second striker of Richarlison. But yeah, I think they're going to do quite well this season. I could be wrong. but we'll see. Eighth, I've got Leicester. Like I said, it was sort of unfortunate for them considering that they were I think halfway through the season they were second, and then they dropped to third behind Man City because Man City started doing really well, and then they kept third for so long, but then they just dropped in form ever since like January, and on the last day of the season they went from like third to fifth, so they missed out on Champions League. I think with some of the other teams they might start doing better, and unfortunately Leicester will probably end up eighth, I think, so there won't be any like domestic competitions. They've also got Europa League this season, so maybe that will affect how well they do in the Premier League. Seventh, I've got Arsenal. I think they ended up like 9th or 10th last season. I remember at one point they were about 14th, but they managed to come back up. I think if Aubameyang stays, which I think Arteta's pretty much confirmed that he is going to, I think that they could definitely do well. I mean, they've just beat Liverpool and Chelsea in both the Community Shield and the FA Cup. Obviously, because they won the FA Cup, then they're in the Community Shield against Liverpool and they still won there. So I think with Arteta, maybe if they keep Martinez in goal, I don't think Leno would be a good idea to have in goal. Martinez has definitely proved his worth ever since Leno's been injured. I think they could actually do really well for themselves. So I'm going to say about 7th. 6th, I've got Wolves. I think they've got like 4 new players, and with how good the squad is already, I can sort of see them getting into Europa League position. They were in the Europa League last season, I think, because I think they finished 7th the season they came up, but I think because of who was in front of them, and I think because Liverpool won the Champions League, it budged a team down. I think because Man City won the FA Cup, it budged a Europa League slot down. So that's how Wolves got that one. But like I said, I think they're going to get 6th. I think they're going to do alright for themselves. This one, looking at it, I'm probably questioning it a bit, but you never know. I've got Tottenham for 5th. I think, again, with like maybe like the form they can keep in. Like, I know Mourinho's done some questionable signings, but I think he's starting to sort of get the team to be like he knows who he wants in his team. He knows the formation he wants. I think he's had like issues with like Ndombele, Danny Rose, and like some other players. But I think if Kane's hopefully fit, well, I say hopefully. I don't really care about Tottenham too much. If Kane's fit for the season, then maybe they could actually start doing better. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I'm being generous by saying 5th, but I mean they did end up 6th this season, which came out of nowhere, so it could be 5th. 4th place, I've got Man United. I know they've signed like Van der Beek, I think his name is, and I think they're looking at signing Jadon Sancho. Whether they do or not, who knows. Obviously, pre-season there's been an issue with some players such as Maguire and Greenwood. Whether Maguire gets any sort of punishment or maybe just loses captaincy, which is probably what they'll go with. Greenwood, if they do sign Sancho, I don't think he's going to get as many minutes, although he did impress in the second half of the season last season. But yeah, I'm going to go with 4th. I know they got 3rd last season, but I'm going to go with 4th because with the other teams ahead of them, I don't think they'll come close to one of them, but I think it's going to be like last season. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race. 3rd, I've got Chelsea. They've just had a ton of new signings. Werner, Havertz. There's been a couple of others, and I can't remember the names. That's how bad I am with it. But Lampard's definitely looking to improve the team. Obviously, Willian's gone to Arsenal, so I think that's why he's brought some new players in. Pulisic, I think, was unfortunate to get an injury towards the end of the season. He's been on really good form for them. I'm hoping he has another good season. He's definitely proved himself to be good for the squad. I know people always do the comparison to Hazard, but they shouldn't. But Pulisic has done really well for Chelsea. 2nd, I've gone for Liverpool. I think, not like with the FA Cup defeat and when they faced Blackpool in a friendly, like they've not been showing signs that they're that strong. I'm not going to put they were really good last season, obviously because they got like 99 points. I think they only lost 3 times, which, funnily enough, was the same amount of losses that Leicester had in the title-winning season. But I don't think they'll be able to keep it up this season, unfortunately. Like I said, I think they'll get second because obviously they're a very solid squad. But I think, especially towards the end of the season, they did start to slip quite a bit. So that's why I've gone with them going second. So that means in first place, I've gone for Manchester City. I think Pep will love to just get them back on form and get them back to the top. It tends to happen, especially with Man City, if they sort of lose out, they then want to get that revenge and they have that motivation to go and win the league, and I think they will. It might only be a few points between them. Maybe, who knows, Man City might not even do that well again. But I think that they'll definitely, like De Bruyne obviously getting player of the season, I think De Bruyne is going to be consistent. I think my only issue I have with Pep at Man City is the amount of times he rotates his players. Like, some of them will have really good matches and then they will decide, oh, you're not playing the next match, I'm going to play this person instead. And then either it backfires or they just don't do as well. But I think Man City will be looking to get the Premier League title back, which will probably motivate them to start doing better. They had a really bad start to the season last season, and I think that they'll probably, hopefully, learn from that. Who knows? Yeah, so I'm going to go through the list again, and then I'm going to do some couple of extra things that I'm just thinking of at the time. So first Man City, second Liverpool, third Chelsea, fourth Man United, fifth Tottenham, sixth Wolves, seventh Arsenal, eighth Leicester, ninth Everton, 10th Sheffield United, 11th Burnley, 12th Southampton, 13th Newcastle, 14th Brighton, 15th Leeds, 16th Crystal Palace, 17th West Brom, 18th West Ham, 19th Fulham, and 20th Aston Villa. I think the biggest result of the season, I'm going to say it will be 6-0 to Man City against Fulham. I think Fulham are going to take a lot of heavy defeats this season, like maybe 3 or 4. But I'm going to say Man City are going to win 6-0 at some point, and that'll be the biggest result. Maybe a surprise win will be Leeds against one of the top teams. Like, I would say Man United, but Man United over the past few seasons have lost to the likes of Huddersfield and Cardiff, and I think Aston Villa at one point. But we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it's going to be a really good season. I'm sure it will be. Me and some of my friends are doing the Fantasy Football League, so I've got 2 of them on the go. I've got a Sky Sports one and I've got the Premier League app one. So it's going to be fun going through them, hopefully win in them. I didn't last time, unfortunately. But we'll see how it goes. But that is they are my predictions for the 2021 Premier League table. Let me know what you think of my predictions and what your predictions for who's going to win, who's going to be the surprise team, what the biggest result is going to be, what a surprise victory might be, like who wins a match where you think they probably wouldn't. But yeah, that's pretty much my predictions. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.